Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of Montreal Open 2025 tournament. Here I was playing white against Nagelberg Alan, whose rating is 1881. So I started the game with d4 and he asked versus d5. After c4 he decided to take on c4. I prefer playing this position as white because I think that taking on c4 is not the best option for black. So I decided to play e3 because recently I had a few good games in this variation, but he plays knight c6. I'm not really familiar with this variation. By now I take on c4 and e5. He attacks the d4 pawn. That's the point of playing knight c6. Here I was thinking a bit, and usually good players play knight f3 here, but I decided to play queen b3, attacking the f7 pawn, and he plays knight h6. It was an unexpected move for me, because I thought would play queen e7, after which I wanted to play knight c3, sacrificing the d4 pawn, and play knight d5, after queen d7, e4, wanting to develop my bishop on f4, with some good compensation for the pawn. But after knight h6, I play knight f3, attacking the pawn, and e4, a strong move, because taking on d4 was not the best. After I take, the knight on h6 threatened, the pawn on f7 will be under attack, so white has a big advantage here. But after e4, I play knight fd2, attacking the e4 pawn. Knight e5 was weaker, because after the exchange, queen g5, it's a double attack, and I lose one of the pawns, and have no compensation for it. So after knight d2 he plays f5. Another unexpected move for me. I thought he would defend it by bishop f5, and I decided to play a3. An interesting move. Playing knight c3 would be a bit premature, because after queen g5, g3, he plays bishop g7, wanted to castle, and if I take on b7, then he has rook b8 and queen g6 with good compensation for two pawns. And if I don't take and play a3, for example, here, so he plays knight a5, forking my queen and bishop, and I lose the bishop pair. So I play a3 at once, and after queen g5, g3, bishop d6, now I play knight c3, and if in this position he played bishop d7, I would simply retreat queen c2, and after knight a5, bishop a2, and my bishop is saved, and is still controlling the white squares. He also had an interesting option knight d4, but in the end it's not worth. After takes e3, knight f3, he can take on f2, give a check, but here I'm just up a piece and have a winning position. So he played a6, wanting to play b5, and also not letting my pieces to go to b5. I play knight e2. I had the interesting option bishop d5, wanting to take on c6 and play knight c4, and after queen h5 I can go for it, play knight c4, and I have a small advantage. But after knight e2, if he played knight e7, he would have an equal game, then play b5 and c5, and black is okay here. But he played b5 advance, and lets me to play bishop d5, a very strong pin. After bishop b7, I miss my good chance. I had to play queen c3, and after king d7, knight b3, white obviously has a big advantage here because of weak squares. But I play knight c4, and obviously if he takes on c4, I take on b7, and I'm winning there. But we both missed an interesting resource for black. If he made a long castle here, after the exchange on d6 and on c6, the position is completely equal, because the queen side is blocked and I cannot attack there. And also I don't have my light square bishop anymore. But he plays king e7, and here I take on d6 and play knight f4. And now the only move that saves him is rook c8, which he played. For example, he cannot play king d7 because I take on c6, then infiltrate on e6 with my queen, take on d6, and now knight fork knight e6, and I win his queen. So he played rook c8, and here I'm already in a big time trouble because I spent a lot of time, but I could play bishop d2, one of the strongest moves. I want, after the taking on c6, to play bishop a5 in some variations. Queen g4, he goes all in for an attack. Now I take on c6, and the best option for black here would obviously to take on c6 with the rook. Now I give a check, and play queen d7, attacking the bishop and threatening knight e6. After rook b8, for example, I play knight e6, and after here I have only one move that wins the game, and it's knight d8, which I first missed, but then I saw it. So he has to take because I was threatening checkmate, and after I take, I just play queen d7 back, I win the bishop, and have an absolutely winning position. but he played queen f3 attacking the rook, which is an interesting idea because I have small amount of time on my clock, so I can miss something, but it's obviously a weaker move because after castling he takes on c6, and now the same, I give check, king f8. Now we see the plus of the playing bishop d2 because after king d8 I can play bishop a5, and there will be a checkmate soon. So he played king f8, and now queen d7. And the problem is that he cannot play rook b8 because after knight e6 there is just queen g7 checkmate because queen is no longer protecting this pawn. So the only move for him is rook e8. I just take on b7. After rook c2 he attacks my bishop, but I calculate a simple variation. I play rook c1, let him take the bishop back and just infiltrate on c8. And he cannot play knight g4 attacking the f2 because I simply give a checkmate in 2, I play knight e6 and take on e8 with checkmate, or on g7 with the same result. But he decided to take on c7, I take on c7, and a bit longer he could held if he played king e7, but here after knight d5 it's the same, knight king f7, queen d7, king runs forward, and after knight f4 check, king f6, queen e6 and queen e7, we will see this position in the game. He played king f7 at once, I give check queen d7, queen e6, queen e7, here is the same position. The only move for him is to play king g4, and now there is three different variations of checkmate: queen h4, queen g7, and beautiful pawn checkmate h3, which I would have played in the game had he not resigned after queen e7. So that's how the game ended. So I'm quite contented with this game. I like it. Despite some minor inaccuracies in the opening, I played quite well. So I hope you like it, and see you in the next games. Bye.